Hi, it's Dan and Sarah.
And we're here to talk to you about the sixth component of our recovery program for young adults struggling with video game addiction. The sixth piece of this is for our young adults to really do some work on who they are and what they want through self-discovery, right? And we see that in a few different aspects of our program. First of all, in mindfulness. Mindfulness is a really key component of that self-discovery process. What happens for young adults in mindfulness that helps them with this video game addiction behavior?
So a couple of things. There's been some recent research out in regards to mindfulness being a very, very powerful part of treatment, because it helps to, for one, it really raises their ability to be aware of their own thoughts and feelings. It raises their ability to be present in the moment instead of thinking in a different reality like gaming, like that world.
Brings them back,
and it also helps them to enter into a better relationship with themselves. As we talked about earlier, relationships are a very key part of recovery, and not only with others, but being able to enter into an accepting, non-judgmental, loving relationship with themselves. And part of what mindfulness does is helps them to discover things that they think and feel and not to put a judgment on that.
Yeah, just let it to come in and name it for what it is and then let it go.
Let it go.
And that research you mentioned, finding out that mindfulness allows young adults to name those cravings and to let them move through them in a way that is more powerful than maybe other interventions have been in the past. I think that's a really cool thing for us to share with our young adults and help them see that continuing this practice will continue to help their recovery.
Yes, absolutely.
So in addition to mindfulness, they also have group therapy and individual therapy. And how do those therapeutic experiences help them with this self-discovery piece?
On a couple of levels, the group therapy is a great place for them to learn, like we talked about earlier, to be vulnerable. That also, in some ways, groups become like a mirror. So as they begin to discuss and figure out what's going on inside of them, they see this mirror in front of them where people go, yeah, that seems to fit, or wait a minute, I'm not sure that really fits. You don't come across that way, what's going on? So it's this place for them to both discover themselves and do that while in relationship with their peers. Individual therapy is all about, oftentimes, insight and understanding what they think and what they feel and taking a look inside and how they feel about themselves. All of that is covered in various ways. So that's where the individual therapy really comes in, alongside these other practices.
And it's not like it happens automatically or like in the moment all the time, right? Like you give clinical assignments and students have an opportunity to walk away from that individual therapy session and do some thinking and then do some writing and then bring it back to you. So it's a dialogue that they can take time with, and they can really, again, do that internal work that may not always feel comfortable right in the moment, but in another day or two when they're out in the woods and they're, after a hike or something, they sit down and they're like, wow. So that's a really key piece to this as well, right? Is using the wilderness as part of that therapeutic experience to facilitate that self-discovery. The sixth component of our recovery program for young adults with gaming addiction is facilitating self-discovery. We've talked to you about all 6 components in this series, and we hope that you've looked at the other videos. Thanks so much for joining us. We hope to hear from you soon.